Alright, let's do the next map of... I've been calling it Black Diamond, but I would have to check because it just says BD on my thing and not Blood or Black. I'm pretty sure it's Black. That's B Diamond 04. And this was attempt 84, not actually 84, because there are a couple times that... Okay, let me just explain that. A while ago, they changed the rules so that if you use the mouse, you can't use the controller and vice versa. So if I'm recording a demo and I tap the mouse before I tap the controller, then I can't play, and I just click reset. So that's why it's a little bit higher than it would be otherwise. Anyway, we got map 4. There's a pretty dynamic map. We start off with an arena fight right away, some infighting with a cyber demon who's awake and nobody else is. Very classic setup. And a pretty symmetrical set of pillars, but with a small space, and the way the revenants are set up so you can sort of skirt between them, it's a little different. This fight was definitely the hardest in the level, and I think that's where the first fight should be. So I plan on titling it. I don't know if I will, but I plan on titling this complaining about a map that I really like. We're gonna save that for the end because there's something funky about the final fight. I don't really talk about like exactly how infighting works because I imagine if you're watching you know how infighting works. But if the cyber demon's shooting at the other enemies, you can hit him. If he's attacking you, don't hit him because then he'll get locked onto you. It's not a 100% rule, but that's the way I think about it because it is almost always correct. And when I'm not doing that, okay, so the way it works when a monster takes damage from a monster or you, then they will target that enemy for I think it's 100 steps, and after that they will be vulnerable to switching targets if they take damage again. So if the cyber demon's only targeting you because of the sound, he hasn't hit that damage threshold. So then, oh, it's 100 steps. He's just targeting you because you're the player, and he's vulnerable to damage. So don't hit him and make that 100 step thing happen. Let him get hit, and that's when the 100 steps locks in. So you don't have to. And since cyber demons kill their enemies fairly quickly, it's pretty rare that you're going to have a cyber demon who's attacking someone else and also is going after you if you hit him because he took so many steps. All right, if I pause, can I move my guy in the other mode? No, I can't. Can I? No, I can't. What if I click freeze? Well, there's my dude. He's killing some enemies here. Nothing crazy. So this arena fight, we'll see in a little bit. The way this map is set up, we have that arena fight, which I'll do soon. Then there's an arena fight over there. I guess we'll leave that for you to find. It's actually really easy. Just one of those skulls. Yeah, you saw it. One of the skulls isn't red. Click that one. You get a backpack. This fight looks hard, but you get to take advantage of a couple things. There's some verticality, some close walls behind you, so you can get the rev missiles off, and revs are close, so they take a lot of missile damage, and you're close to them, so they're not really going to attack unless pain state, because revs have that safe range, the chase range. This is another fairly challenging fight. This one I found very difficult to do perfectly. This floor is damaging. But, you know, the enemies are like revenants and imps and stuff. And there aren't really enough to get boxed in. It's more like you're just taking projectiles. So it's not like you'll just instantly die if you screw up. You'll just get hurt. So I try to make a little safe pocket for myself. And then I can sort of camp out this side. Though, honestly, it might be easier to not do that and just target the imps and stuff. But then I wouldn't be able to use the rocket launcher. I think if this was Super Shotgun, I would just move back and forth. But given that I have the rockets, I want to get the safe zone. Because I have the DPS, the damage rate, to make that happen. Oh, also, for Cyber Demons, and I think this is Cyber Demons only. Oh, Manx do this too, because they shoot in bursts of 3. I guess technically Chain Gunners do as well, because they shoot in bursts of 2. Okay, this door is so weird. Can I just point that out? The light turns off after a little bit. Why? I don't even know if I think that's bad. It's just like a little confusing. Yeah, so this door opens up the rest of the map, and you can have either this key that I just got from doing that fight, or I can get the key from this fight over here. And I'm doing the fights in the order I'm doing them, because I want to do the other one with the plasma. You could do it without the plasma, but I think the plasma is more helpful in that one than it is in the fight that I did do. Pretty chill archvile here. But yeah, anyway, when you have a Cyber Demon and he's doing that burst of 3, you can hit him as he's doing the burst of 3, even if the thing he's shooting at is already dead. Because he's already committed to that attack. Archviles aren't like this, though. They will change if you hit them mid-attack, and vice versa. It's the same, it's a step count. Here, I want to save some plasma, so I just plasma 2 revs, and then I just go in circles. This fight is where we get the plasma. I don't think it's actually required to beat the map to do this fight, though I don't really feel like you would beat the level without the plasma. I'm sure you could. I don't know if you want to do that, though. Hold on, is that wall a little bit weird, or am I seeing things? I think it's just the angle. There's a Spectre here, and it's always fun when Spectres and Arachnos fight, because there's a decent chance that the Arachnotron gets stuck. Okay, I don't know what these guys are doing, some sort of, like, prayer circle? They must have sound blocking blind deafs. This fight, I'm tempted to go back and do it normally, because I know it's doable, there's enough space. But I cheesed it. Yeah, as long as you wait like a second, you can get away. I have a feeling the author might have just mistimed that exit, because it opens up really fast, and I feel like it probably shouldn't. Yeah, it could just be an oversight, I don't know. Or maybe, like, I'm wrong. I think it opens too fast. That's my opinion. Anyway. Oh, sometimes you can telefrag one of the Hell Knights there. Oh, another way you can prevent that cheese as a map maker, what you can do is orient the arena such that when you run away, all the enemies pool up in the area you would return. I think this is a mean way to do it, but it is an option. Luckily, in that area, it was the opposite. They would pool towards Archvile, which is perfect. All right, now we get a new enemy. It's an Aphrit. You know, it's not exactly the Scythe 2 Aphrit. They have a bit more mass, so they don't get knocked back as much. I don't think the Scythe 2 Aphrit had Rev missiles as well. He seems to have a little bit less health. But fundamentally, we're talking about a pretty similar enemy. And as you can see, they hit really hard. And yeah, I'm just not playing against them properly, as you can see from my health. I'm like, no, I want to save Plasma. And I don't want to use Plasma. It's one enemy. But all right, let's collect some health again. I'll just fast forward through this health recollection process. I think what would Doom Eternal look like at this point? And you would just do a glory kill. And here it's like, dude, I'm running out of health. So like I said, I'm going to complain a little bit about an issue this map had, but I'm also cheesing a lot of fights. The secret fight with the Archvile and the last fight. This fight, I am not cheesing, I'm just doing it normally. And I thought my strategy of rocketing the revs a little bit and then I was going to plasma a bit was good. Apparently I'm taking mega damage, so I don't know, maybe don't copy my strategy. It works out though. We should keep in mind at 11 health, I could die to a Lost Soul. The Lost Soul could do 24 damage, and then I would be dead. Because 24, with green armor, that's what I have right now, would be 16. 16 damage. 2/3 of 24. 16 is more than 11, I would be dead. Alright, so you've got, okay, this is the part that I'm complaining about. So, this next fight, it's not terribly difficult, and I don't think the fight is that hard. That's not what I'm complaining about. What I am complaining about is, imagine you're shooting, see the little island over there? If you're shooting hit scan that way, it can trigger the ending fight. It's a shootable trigger for the end. And for some reason, it's not blocked. And I think I have the Doom knowledge to explain why that happens. Maybe. This fight's not too bad. You know, you clear up a little bit of space and you can circle strafe. But you can watch how I use the super shotgun when I switch to it. I will only use super shotgun and chain gun if I'm facing away from the drop down. Because the drop down, if you shoot that way, it might trigger the end fight, and that's really bad because I'm not there yet, and then all the enemies are going to block me and I'll die. And I've had that happen, I think twice. I think I had 2 runs where that happened. See, I'm making sure I'm behind the Revenants. I'm shooting back towards the main map and not towards the ending drop down. Also, why is this even a fight? You could just drop down. You don't have to do this. That's what I thought at first, but there's a good reason for it. These enemies are guarding some extra loot. There are some shells for free. There's some rockets, some plasma. And you get those if you've gotten the keys. Because remember, you could have done one of those key fights and not the other. Both of them would get you through the door I'm looking at right now. And I did both, of course, because, you know, I want to get UV max. So let's just get some extra health before the end. I'll do a little bit of an extra thing at the end here where I show what I'm talking about that trigger. But, you know, the map maker shouldn't feel too bad because I am going to cheese the final fight, and I'm only able to do so because they were really, really nice. I don't know why they were really, really nice. They probably should not have been that nice. So I think you know what's going to happen. It's pretty clear. It's going to be a big fight. Here's that shootable switch. And if you just drop down, you have this safe zone, which don't take that. It'll kill you. Take this teleporter. I thought I was dead here because I went too soon. The enemies weren't piled up yet. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to drop back down and we're going to try this again. So I drop down and we're just waiting for all the enemies to pile up. Take the teleporter, got a telefrag, and then go into the corner. And then we're mostly chilling, except for the Afrit, who obviously is problematic. And we even got a soul sphere over here. It's great. So yeah, I don't really know why there's that safe zone, why there's even a teleporter back at all. This isn't really an area I imagine a lot of people are going to fall off by accident. But we have it. I used it. I cheesed it. And we got some Archviles here. I think the Archviles are actually a good touch to this fight. Because they make you keep the pace up. If you're going too slow, you're not going to be able to handle the Archviles. It just won't work. Same for the pain elementals. Oh, that's a teleporter back. So if you didn't have the 241 kills before the final, I suppose 50 enemies exactly, at the end, you can backtrack. Whoa! Nice reaction time there. Okay, so we got Afrit, Rev, Baron. I would like to use the rockets. Let's just get rid of the Lost Souls first. And there we go. And that is the map. Yeah, like these platforms are really easy. I don't anticipate people falling off here. And that's also a forced pistol start with the John Romero at the end. Yep. So I do want to show that thing I was complaining about real quick. So if I do no monsters for comp level 9, because we don't need monsters to demonstrate this. If you don't mind, I'll use some cheats to get there quickly. Okay. So look how this thing's supposed to look at first. Okay. See how it's not red? But then if I'm up here and I'm shooting the Revenant and going pow 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 pow, and I accidentally shoot that way, look, it triggers the shootable. And now with monsters, what that would do is it would trigger all those Revenants. So then they would pool up on these walls while I'm up there, and it would be really bad. I was able to skirt past going this way, but it's really sketchy. So there's a little map oversight. I don't really know exactly why that happened. My guess is that the trigger just doesn't have a height value. Like a lot of times when you see shootables, they'll be indented in the wall, so you can only get them if you're shooting at the appropriate height, because otherwise you'll get blocked. I think that's what's happening, and it's actually something you can see with certain button presses where you can do it at the wrong height. But whatever the case of why it's happening, that's there, and I did have that happen a couple times. So if you're the map maker, I'm letting you know. I did like the map though. I like that you can choose what order to do fights. It was relevant. We had a good mix of cyber demons, vials, and also I cheesed it too, so I don't feel too bad. Okay.